Hello and welcome to London360, the only regular news feature show that keeps you up to date with everything that is going on in the capital. You can catch us here weekly, or you can watch the show anytime and get involved at communitychannel.org/London360. In our new show, we have an exciting lineup of stories, from people throwing themselves in the Thames in aid of charity to young entrepreneurs learning how to make millions. If you want to know how, stay right where you are. It's not uncommon nowadays for young entrepreneurs to make millions. To kickstart the show this week, Rishi, Persaud and Jordaan Shelley headed down to Supa Academy, where young people got a taste of how a startup can go from zero to hero.
We're here at the Supa Academy event at the Truman Brewery in Shoreditch to find out how this event has helped shape young people's lives and help them to develop as young entrepreneurs.
The 500 Supa partners will be trading from their pop-up markets that they've been working on over the past 6 weeks with the intention of building their entrepreneurial skills and hoping to make an income.
It's given us a platform. You know, this can go on our CV. We were networking yesterday. Every day we're talking to people that are coming in, they own their own businesses.
My stall, so basically it's a combination of art, product, generally like it's an engagement brand, so we like to engage with people that come through. We have a doodle wall to the side of me, just basically encouraging people to express their creativity.
What we have done is built the UK's first pop market with my teenagers, and for us it was a very special moment in creating it and making it all happen. So Supa Academy is about opportunity, but then also about execution. So giving them a platform to do something and then letting them go out and do it.
But perhaps there is a wider issue to address. There are still over 700,000 young people aged between 16 and 24 unemployed, with almost 160,000 out of work for over 12 months, according to statistics released by the House of Commons. Radio DJ and Supa Academy host Edith Bowman stressed the importance of helping to engage young people into entrepreneurship.
A lot of people don't believe in entrepreneurs because they just think it's silly and you won't be able to do it, they doubt you.
I'm trying to tackle youth unemployment and demotivation through makeup, so through something that young girls really like and do on a constant basis. And it's like a lot of people going to a young person saying to them, oh, I'm going to teach you how to be confident. They kind of get scared because they're like, oh, but I'm confident already. And I want to kind of get through to young people in an innovative way to kind of make them feel more comfortable. And youth unemployment right now is so extreme. And that only comes down to not understanding that they're the reason why they're unemployed.
There needs to be more done, but it has to be done in an inspiring way, and people need to be given responsibility and access, because that's when true kind of innovation happens, which is ultimately what you want to see.
I challenged the headmaster to let me run the school's first tuck shop. We did it, it was quite successful, and I've never looked back really, and I've just always, because there's that kind of light switch moment when you know what you want to do and you just go for it. For me, it was just always a kind of fun and interesting thing to do, so I think I fell into it just by chance, but it was more because I'm a doer, I like doing things.
It's clear that these events have a positive impact on young people, and Supa Academy has done just that.
Supa Academy's journey will continue even in the face of unemployment. And who knows, that boy or girl across the street may be the next Richard Branson.
Next up, they say a dog is a man's best friend, but for those living on the streets, it's more than that. Unfortunately, most hostels don't allow the homeless to bring their dogs. Jordaan Shelley went to investigate one of the few that does, and why it's so important to stay with their four-legged friend.
It can happen to anybody, because it can happen very quick. I've never been homeless in my life before this. With me and him, if it wasn't for this place, there's no other place. You know, because they looked and looked, and I was offered 3 different places, but they told me to get rid of him, and I said, no. Because he's like family to me, I'd never get rid of him.
According to Crisis, the national rate of homelessness has risen by 37% since 2010 and is at an all-time high in London. With the work of hostels and shelters, many are able to escape the streets in exchange for a warm bed. However, for homeless people with dogs, it is not so easy. With only 9% of hostels in the UK being dog-friendly, many face the problem of being denied access to shelter and support.
My name's Alex and this is Major. I was homeless in 2012. After going to uni, things went wrong, so I lost my flat. And I think it made him a bit insecure because he wouldn't let me out of his sight. You know, if I moved anywhere, boy, he was there. He was a bit worried because we'd had a flat for 5 years. So all of a sudden, not to have no place is a bit odd. And just having to sleep in the street, actually. The only thing to cuddle up to was him. So that was probably the hardest time. But he helped me a lot because just people seeing me and him, they would actually give me money. I wouldn't even ask for it. Because I've never begged before in my life, so I couldn't do it.
From 20 years of working with homeless dog owners, it's really important to get them into a stable environment where they're then able to access veterinary services from there that we offer, then they're able to get the right advice and support, not only for the dog but also for the dog's owner. So from the point of view of the hostel, it's really important that they really consider bringing people in off the streets with their pets and the steps that they need to take to do that.
So MUNGO'S Broadway is a charity helping homeless people. We help 2,500 people every night, and that's 25,000 every year. We do allow people who are dog owners to come in. I think it's very beneficial because if you ask a homeless person who's a dog owner, you can choose a hostel or your dog. Most people will choose to stay with their dog and give up their accommodation space. So by providing rooms that dogs are allowed in, we're allowing people not only to access the accommodation but also the support services that St Mungo's Broadway offers as well. The dog is their companion, their family, so if they had to be parted from their dog, that just triggers the bereavement process and it can cause people to relapse into any addictions they may have by the loss of their only support, and has been their support for many years. It's their family.
Homeless owners will go to great lengths to stay with their dogs. We know that when faced with having to go into a hostel or give up their pet or stay on the streets, they'll stay on the streets.
It's clear that this initiative benefits not only the residents but the dogs themselves. Although St Mungo's is making a huge difference, it is only a ripple in a huge pond that continues to grow. So, what can be done to eradicate homelessness in one of the world's most successful cities in the world? Here's what Alex thinks.
Well, don't cut any funds like St Mungo's because those are the last lifelines for people that are in trouble.
Here at London360, we love to give people a platform to have a say about their great city. So, we invite you to send us your story, points of view, or even passionate rants. This week, Nick Kepi-Deleco from Hounslow tells us why Londoners need to wise up when it comes to wasting water. Take it away, Nick.
My name's Nick. I'm a student from the Borough of Hounslow. I'm here to talk about something that isn't normally talked about in the papers. And it isn't really normally an issue for Londoners. And that is the subject of water. So us as Londoners need to cut down on our water consumption. We actually use 10% more than the rest of the UK. And this comes to 2,000 million litres a day. And with the population of London just set to increase, that figure is only going to get bigger. The UK Environmental Agency actually also recently stated that the capital is seriously water stressed. But measures are being taken to combat this. For example, a desalination plant was actually opened in 2010 on the Thames estuary. Desalination works by taking salt from salt water to make purified water. However, desalination requires a lot of energy and is hard to maintain. Therefore, it's our duty as Londoners to curb our water usage and be aware of the issues facing our water treatment network.
That's all for part one, but see you after the break for more London stories. We'll be finding out about how Amy Winehouse's legacy is using music to give youngsters a newfound confidence, and how Londoners are getting their weekly taste of village life. Welcome back to part 2 of London360, the only show that unearths real stories from London's hidden communities. Next up, it's been 4 years since the death of North Londoner Amy Winehouse, but her legacy lives on and is giving newfound hope to young musicians. Ikra and Dahir went to Camden to find out how.
Without the Amy's Yards Foundation, I don't think I would be at a place musically that I am right now.
The friends and family of the iconic musician Amy Winehouse have come together to create a program called Amy's Yard. It helps young disadvantaged people from a range of different backgrounds through music. The Amy Winehouse Foundation has helped a lot of young people. Here is how some of them felt about their experience on the Amy's Yard scheme.
When we started getting into rehearsals, it was when we really gelled and we would dance to each other's songs and like sing to each other's songs. I guess that sticks out.
All of the time, now it's all over, and the switch sides.
One of the best performances that I've done, one of the nicest crowds that I've been a part of, and an interesting journey in terms of the entire course. And I don't know, I'm glad that I've progressed to what I have done now.
Amy's Yard is the perfect reflection of Amy's legacy. I think the stuff that a lot of these young people are going through in their lives, many of those issues are things that Amy dealt with herself. She loved music, she loved young people. A lot of her friends have said when they come to these events, the showcases, that's when they most feel Amy. And I think it's an absolutely perfect legacy for what she left us.
I've got to say, it's just wonderful to see you guys performing and turning your lives around, with Amy helping you to turn your lives around. But Amy hasn't done it, you've done it, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
It's important to have schemes like Amy's Yard because there are a lot of young people out there going through an awful lot of stuff. Like, I've been working with young people for well over 15 years and still I am blown away by the complexity of some of what they're facing day to day. So, there's more and more cuts and there's less and less available for young people. So for me, if we didn't do things like this, there'd be even more young people out there struggling and not finding an opportunity. And really all they need is just to know that somebody believes in them, somebody cares, and that they can make mistakes and they can just learn from them, and that there's support out there for them. So I think it's crucial.
I'm just putting it out there, this is a warning.
We've been working up until this point, and now it's, we've done the show, and just to see how far, not just me, but we've all come from, the first day. I mean, my confidence was really low. I've never recorded in a studio before. So the fact that I've got a song out of it, an actual song, is massive. So I'd say tonight's the most memorable night, but also just every time I'm with them and, get to perform in front of everyone each time, how much everyone supports each other. I'll never forget it. It's just been the best thing I've ever done.
And I'm spreading it out there.
Now, this isn't just any market. This is a local, homegrown, pesticide-free farmers market. If you've not been to one on your doorstep, Farhat Saidi went to find out what you've been missing out on.
This is my little piece of village life. Once a week, I come here, and it's like I'm in a small community, and I don't have that otherwise.
Hundreds and thousands of Londoners visit their local farmer markets each week, and today London360 is visiting just two of them to show you what you might have been missing.
It is now thought that London holds over 20 farmers' markets, and farmers from as far as 100 miles away come to the capital once a week to give Londoners a chance to buy homegrown fresh produce.
I think it's important for Londoners to keep the link with the rural community and keep people linked to actual food production.
There's much more traceability from the farmers market. You can speak directly to the producers and they'll give you the up-to-date information of what's going on the farm.
But if Londoners buy from people like myself, they're supporting the local economy rather than supporting the big supermarkets who are importing a lot of their food.
It's supporting local businesses. Supermarkets may be cheap, but this is all local produce, there's no pesticide.
It's really nice to have seen children growing up and like they've become young adults, and it's nice they've got really good informed choices and they know, where food comes from and whether it's sustainable, and they're more aware of seasonality.
Here at the farmers market, talking to shoppers and farmers, there were different thoughts on the benefits that it's brought to the London community.
The difference between my meat and meat in the supermarket is that it's all free range, and we hang all of the beef for a minimum of 3 weeks. The lamb is hung as well, so that it should be a lot more tender.
And why have you decided to come down here today instead of going to your supermarket?
Well, I work in a supermarket and I prefer local farmers markets. You get another kind of customer service.
I find meat in supermarkets bland, and you have to really do a lot in terms of flavouring and stuff. When you buy meat here, you don't have to do that much, and it just tastes, you can just taste the quality. It reminds me of when I used to eat meat when I was younger. It's just a bit reassuring that you know it's not pumped full of whatever you don't know.
If I'm honest, I can't say really I can tell the difference particularly always, but the fact that I know it's not, say, adulterated with steroids or preservatives and so on is important to me, but I can't always tell the taste.
We wake up around 4 in the morning. You know, it's all homemade and it's got my mum's touch. It's like a community and everyone's welcome.
It's fresh, it's local, and it's amazing.
What motivates you to get up at 4 in the morning?
A smile on people's faces.
Very local and has a good representation of all sorts of London foods.
It has a lot of choices, reasonable prices, and people are happy and nice.
I've been coming here for years now, and I wouldn't go anywhere else.
I'd like to meet a beautiful woman because I'm single at the moment. But that's not a serious motivation, it's mainly food. Oh, by the way, what's your name?
Good job, Farhat. Well, they do say food is the language of love. Or maybe you'll find love in our next feature. Where in London can you swim, crawl, jump, slide, and laugh your way to the finish line of a wet 10-kilometre race? Here, Suna Yokes finds out why the London River Rat Race is making a splash, quite literally, in the capital.
It was literally like a fun park, sort of like total wipeout on water with a run. It was just amazing.
The whole point is, just to go out, have a good day, enjoy yourselves and raise a bit of money for people.
I'm here at the Rat Race, a 10-kilometre water obstacle course with a difference, taking place here at the Royal Victoria Docks in London. After an energetic warm-up, the competitors faced a series of quick-fire obstacles inside the XL Centre before heading out to the dockside for a number of gruelling tasks in the sunny conditions. Back for its second year, the race has been billed as the only water obstacle course in London.
The landscape itself is very unique. This is Dockland, it's a very transient area, it's been used for industry, and we're now using it for leisure. What better way to use such a landscape on a sunny Saturday than jumping in?
The most fun was probably the jump, I'd say. That was really the 20-foot jump straight down into water. Although scary, was fun.
The jump was the big one that took a lot of time off. Just psyching yourself up, getting to the edge, backing away, starting again, backing away.
You're always going to get your racing snakes up at the top end, running hard, trying to beat one another, but 90% of the field here are here for a good time. And you get a lot of people laughing out loud, falling in, having a bit of a wobble, and lots of teams as well, and that really adds to the social and inclusive dynamic.
It's just been so friendly. We got stuck on so many walls and there's always someone to lift you over.
You can walk, you can run, there's no pressure and everybody feels they all contribute and encourage you.
Not only is it a fun day out for more than 1,500 people taking part, it is also raising much-needed funds for the UK's largest homeless charity, Shelter. This year, the race raised over £40,000 for Shelter to support this vital cause, making a difference to the lives of homeless Londoners and others across the country.
So every year, Shelter helps about 4 million people facing bad housing and homelessness. We do this by providing expert free advice to people and legal support. And because we're a campaigning organisation at our heart, we campaign to tackle the root causes of homelessness. So in London, there are now 40,000 homeless families living in temporary accommodation. Quite often, they'll be sharing a bathroom with a stranger, There's no facilities to cook food, so you have to buy food in and sit and eat it on the floor. It's really not a place for a child to flourish.
Representatives from other homeless charities also took part and were happy to raise awareness of the work that is being done to help those in need.
Well, I was formerly homeless myself, and they offered me a place, so I'm now taking on a training role with them, looking towards being a staff member with them and stuff.
I work for a charity called MUNGO'S that's based in Hertfordshire. We take in formerly homeless individuals, we give them work, we give them training, support, which hopefully helps them rebuild their lives and move on.
It's for a good cause, and it's just good fun, and everyone had a great time today, so definitely be back next year.
The Rat Race Challenge was an opportunity for people to get fit and test their endurance, as well as helping Shelter to provide a lifeline to families. And that makes everyone a winner.
That's it for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed the show. To find out more information about any of the stories featured on today's show, or to send in any suggestions you may have for future episodes, head to communitychannel.org/London360. If you'd like to stay up to date with what goes on behind the scenes here, be sure to join in the conversation and follow us on Twitter at London_360. And remember, keep it 360.